Hey, look, we're back.
Ah,
now it works.
Crap. Why'd you have to fix it?
Welcome, everyone, to today's home contest. This is Southern Virginia University Volleyball. Art Furler here with Mike Harmon as the Knights get ready to host the Roanoke College Maroon. We're just saying if Stanford can do Cardinal, then they can do Maroon. About to get started here tonight. We've got about 1 minute till we start off. Coach, your thoughts on the Knights, how they're going to fare this evening?
Well, we're going to see how they've made the adjustment since the last time they played, losing Shannon Ramito. I talked to Coach Lee, and she said that Melissa Owen's really coming on now, so she's very hopeful for tonight.
Outstanding. Well, as you mentioned, going down in that last one, it looks like Shannon's going to be out a little while, so the Knights will have to adjust not just losing a starter, but a senior leader, someone who's been around for a while in this program.
Yes, it's that's one of the downfalls of being injured, especially with Shannon was just starting to hit her stride with her leadership and on the volleyball floor.
Yeah, so we'll see how the Knights can handle that against a tough Roanoke team this evening. We've got starting announcements here in just a minute, and then they'll go through the starting lineups. Coach, do you have starters for us?
Yes, I do. We have for the Roanoke Maroon, number 3, Jessica Block, number 6, Macy Tyree, number 9, Sarah Long, number 11, Alexandra Martin, number 14, Brooke Bostwick, number 18, Allison White, and their libero will be number 15, Kristen Zamet.
Excellent. And for Southern Virginia?
Southern Virginia starters will be number 2, Natalie Workman, number 10, Caitlin Talusic, number 11, Hannah Phillips, number 12, Caitlin Berry, number 13, Vanessa Pollock, number 15, Caitlin Eaton, and the libero will be April Bennett.
Perfect. Certainly Caitlin Eaton, a big force here in the game they had last week. Very close loss in 5. Difficult for the Knights to swallow. I'm sure love to get a victory here at home. We're going to break away here just for a minute. We start all events here in Southern Virginia with a prayer, so we'll break away for the prayer and the national anthem. great job on the national anthem. You know, it's nice that Southern Virginia's Fine Arts program gets a little showcase at the beginning of athletic events again with the singing the national anthem. Maybe we should starting off our choir concerts and so forth. Have Wes Evans come out and do dunk or something.
That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Cross training. We're all about that combined education, opportunity to do everything.
Exactly. Well, it's better to hear the national anthem sung than have it same thing over and over again on a CD.
Absolutely, great to have that support of the fine arts here. So as we mentioned before, about to get underway. Coach, your thoughts on what Southern Virginia needs to do early in this first set?
Well, they need to establish a tempo and dominance and get rid of some of the errors that we saw in the last game that they were here. That's the common opponent that they have in Randolph. Roanoke has just beat them 3-1. So we saw a little bit of tentativeness on some of the Knights' part, especially when they're on the right side of the floor. So hopefully
the cursed side, as it was.
The cursed side. Hopefully it was just some of the shock of losing a teammate and being thrown into a different rotation. They've had chances now to practice out of rotations and everything. So we're looking forward to seeing them come out and set a tempo that they can stay with through the whole match.
Well, and you mentioned the being shaken by a teammate going down. How much more does it mean to have Shannon Romito out here giving the opening prayer, praying that no one's going to get hurt after her last game where that's exactly what happened to her?
Well, we hope that prayer works.
Absolutely.
We don't need to see anybody else go down.
Absolutely.
On either side.
And with that, we're getting into the first set here. The team's taking the floor. Southern Virginia to our left, Roanoke College on our right. We'll see how we go here in just a second. Already libero April Bennett checking in for Southern Virginia's side, which typically means they're receiving the serve, correct?
Well, not really. It just depends on what the rotation is set up for. It looks like it might be Roanoke getting ready to serve for us. So, again, you'd want April in there to start receiving serve as fast as possible also.
And that's why we have you here as the expert. Thanks. Service starting out by Roanoke College. Looks like Jessica Block to lead things off.
And Block is their setter, leading with assists with over 300 so far this semester. Oh, nice play by Eaton. She comes up, looks like she's going to hit the ball hard. They've all backed up, and she puts it down in the middle of the floor.
Well, that goes to the scouting report. I'm sure they've seen that Eaton can really put a lot of force on that, especially recently. Can't fault them for backing up and trying to field that.
Yeah, you never want to take a volleyball to the face.
Not so much. Service over the net. Roanoke taking it. Hard shot to the outside and able to play it off the defenders that time. Allison White. Smart play on that one.
It was, and I talked to Coach Trail from Roanoke, and she said to watch out for Allison White. She's been playing really well as of late and is one of the leaders in kills.
Good to know. Into the back line. Bennett sets it up to the front, and another push over the top. Looks like it's going to be a free ball over to Southern Virginia. Outside this time, and there's the power. There's the power that Roanoke was worried about. Not from Caitlin Eaton, though.
One of those freshmen, Hannah Phillips. You know, Phillips and Pollock on the outside have really shown a maturity level that you don't really see from freshmen too much.
Yeah, a lot of power in that last game. A lot of kills here at home for Phillips. Set to the front, and a kind of an awkward set having to be taken from the outside. That one into the net, and Southern Virginia with the point. Now the early lead, 3-1.
And this is the tempo that they want to play at. They want to play fast, get the rallies over quick, get back to the service line, and dictate what's happening on the floor.
Good opportunity this time with the back set. Goes over, and good attempt by April Bennett to get underneath that one. Just a hair late, unable to do so. Point over to Roanoke. White from the service line again, way outside. That's an easy call by the Southern Virginia outside players to say, you know, I'm pretty sure that one's going over.
You know, it's got to be a little bit difficult for them to come into this arena. It's very close. The fans are very close. If you go down to their arena, the fans are very far away from the playing surface. So this close-in feeling may be an advantage for the Knights tonight.
And they'll take whatever they can get, especially here at home. in that scenario. Eaton's service received well and put back. Service this time over to Roanoke College, now trailing 3-4 here in the Knights Arena.
Had Carla Blackmore check in for Jessica Block on the Roanoke side.
Very short that time. It looks like
had a back row attack. Valerie Arkansas is in the back row. She went up and touched the ball. At the height of it, it was on the net. The Roanoke players touched it too, and that's constituted the back row attack on the Knights.
And there you go. Tied at 4 apiece now. Service over to the Knights. Back set again for the Knights this time, and that one long, just a little bit too much on that by Melissa Owen. We saw her in the last contest here at home, starting out a little shaky, took a little while to shake the nerves off, but came in very strong in the later sets.
She just wants to make sure that she stays behind the ball to hit it and not get up underneath like she did that last one.
Service into the back row. Southern Virginia again up at the net. Hard shot, and that's coming right at us. Well done that time. Vanessa Pollock with the outside shot.
Again, power personified. She does everything explosively. We'll watch her even when she passes. She'll jump to the floor explosively. She's just one of those players that you like to watch playing.
Well, certainly a lot of power on it that time. Service coming over by Workman. Taken well, and long hit to the back row. The Knights with a good opportunity here. Set to the front. Just a little tip over the top. Going back to Roanoke. Hard shot by them. Saved by Bennett. Ball over, and it is on the line, looks like. Point to Southern Virginia.
And those are ones that you never want to let go. If you have any doubt, go ahead and play it. And obviously the Roanoke player thought that, and actually felt really strongly that it was going out.
Sure, yeah. If you don't touch it, you've got no chance to make a play on it. Oh, great job that time. That was a beautiful block at the net. Callan Berry and Vanessa Pollock just sending that one right back down the throats of the Roanoke offense. 7-5 now lead for Southern Virginia. Bumps at that time. Long shot to the back row by Kyla Blackmore. Hard shot by Vanessa Pollock. Back over, sent into the back row. The Knights with an opportunity here. Oh, and wow. That was a beautiful play. Caitlin Slustig, little trickery on that one.
Took it over on two. Felt that everybody was watching the outside hitters. Was able to see the opening floor and put it down.
Just a very, very smart play. Oh, and bit of a mismatched play on that one, too. Looked like there was some miscommunication. The bump was a little too long into the net, so kind of a misplay by Roanoke College, feeding that Southern Virginia offense, now leading 9-5.
And this seems to be one of the better rotations that the Knights have had in the last two games.
Yeah, Roanoke seeming a bit out of sorts. Another relative free ball over. Hit hard off the defender. Still in play, though. And again, played back down, out of bounds. Point to Southern Virginia. And they are on quite the rally right now, Mike.
They are. Natalie Workman is scoring a lot of points for the Knights now. And so much so that Coach Trail from Roanoke has to call a timeout.
Yeah, right on cue. 6 points straight. As a perspective from a former coach yourself, Mike, what to you makes it, what verifies the timeout? What to you says we have to stop it now?
You don't want them to get on too much of a run. In the early stages of the game, a 5-point lead is not that bad because you can always come back, but Coach Trail must have felt like things were getting away way too much, especially on that last play we saw. A block, the hitters just hit it back out of bounds, no real attempt on it. So she's seeing that her team is out of system, is what we call it, and she's trying to calm them down, get them back into their system so they can start to take some of this momentum away from the Knights.
Yeah, the last 2 or 3 plays, it looked like no one really knowing what the plan was from Roanoke, both on offense and defense, just as you mentioned, out of system, out of sorts, frankly.
Out of sorts.
Service, again, coming in from Natalie Workman. Played on the line that time by Roanoke College.
And we got a 2 call. Double hit on the setter.
Not what you want to do coming out of a timeout.
That is not what you want to do coming out of a timeout. It looked like they had things set up and ready to go, but it was just one of those unfortunate calls.
Again, a little bit out of sorts, but it works out initially. Back over to Southern Virginia. Free ball. Oh, and into the net. That one's going to favor Roanoke College, and the streak is now broken.
And when you have one of those down balls that you're hitting from behind the attack line, you always need to have someone covering to make sure that the blockers don't get it down.
Service over from Roanoke. Taken well by the Knights. Little back set, and great look. Callan Berry.
Nice slide by Miss Berry, able to go a one-foot attack from behind the setter. So again, stretching the defense out, creating one-on-one blocks, finding the holes. Great offensive set.
Well, in growth, even from the last game where a lot of the Southern Virginia players trying to just power through. In that case, they're able to find the hole rather than try to rely on that power. But speaking of power that time, Roanoke College able to answer right back. Allison White, I believe it was. We've called her name a couple of times tonight already. Still Southern Virginia leading 12-7. Nice short set and taken very handily. Callan Berry, one heck of a night. Oh,
she was too far over the line. It would have caused they call it a dangerous play because the blocker was coming down right there. They're trying to protect some of the blockers. You can go over the line just as long as you're not endangering the other players. And in the referee's judgment, she would have been endangering players.
Well, there you go. Service over to Southern Virginia again. Nice job that time. Hannah Phillips once again finding the floor and preventing a potential run by Roanoke College. Southern Virginia still leading, now 12-8, keeping that 4 or 5 point lead throughout.
And we haven't seen the mental mistakes that we saw last week at this time. So it's good to see that they're growing up, maturing, and gelling a little bit more as they get into the season.
Yeah, they seem to be playing a lot more as a unit than they did in the last contest. They just there wasn't nearly as much cohesiveness as there is tonight. We'll see if that can carry them through now. Nice back set again. Push shot to the back line. Taken well, and White. Good play that time. A nice hard hit by Allison White, but deflected at the line by Southern Virginia, and Roanoke unable to recover.
Caitlin Eaton was able to get her hands and press across the net. If they can press across the net on the block is going to go back into the court and not off the side onto our side.
Yeah, and playing it low off of that too, very helpful. Service from Arkansas. Just a hair outside, and that point over Roanoke College.
And just as we talked about the mental mistakes not being there rears its ugly head of missed serves.
Service over, looked long but played. And once again, little too much to handle. Now the Knights looking a little bit out of sorts. And the Maroons starting to put it together. Taken by Bennett, over to Arkansas. Little rolls it off the net, but in that scenario, just a little, the net a little bit unkind to Owen. And the point down again for Roanoke College. Now the lead at 2. Service again, Bennett, Arkansas. Hit hard off the defender that time. Caitlin Eaton to finish.
Yeah, if all else fails, put it up high and let Caitlin go get it, right? And that rotation that the Knights were in, probably not one of their better rotations, but you do have the bailout of Caitlin being there.
Phillips, hard shot, tipped over, and that time points Southern Virginia. And again, that service giving a little bit of trouble. Hannah Phillips doing a great job tonight. That one making a player dive to the floor for her. Tough service again, taken well. And the point over to Roanoke College.
And now you probably got your best options up front with Melissa Owen, Caitlin Eaton, and Vanessa Pollock. You can spread the ball out wherever you want and create a lot of one-on-one.
We'll see how they do with that. Yep, that first dig just a little bit too forward. Tough for the Knights to get, and the point over Roanoke. Once again, the lead down to 2. It's been 2 a couple of times, but I don't think it's gotten any closer than that in quite a while.
And it doesn't matter how many options you have if you can't make that pass. Oh, nice pancake.
Beautiful. Free ball over to Southern Virginia, though, but it's going back again. Oh, good defense, though. Yeah, just a broken play that time by Southern Virginia. As you mentioned, all started by a beautiful pancake that she needed to get to in a hurry to break up Eaton's spike. Lead down to 1. Arkansas way over to the corner. And it looked like a lift to me, but the referees
have Pollock in the net.
Oh. There we go, and we are all tied up.
You know, and I know that Coach Lee is trying to get Valerie Arkansas some valuable time, but she seems to be just not connecting with her hitters right now.
Push to the back line. Recovered well by Roanoke. Outside shot by Tyree. Blocked. And that time the shot at the net by Pollock, blocked by Roanoke College, and they've got the lead, Coach.
Now this is when you want to call a timeout. So you've lost all momentum. Your team's starting to look a little bit in shambles. It's time to settle them back down. Would have liked to see Coach Lee maybe call a timeout 2 points ago, not give up the lead, but you know she knows her team a little bit better than we do right now.
Absolutely, and now with down 1 point, remember it is 25, win by 2, so a fair stretch here, 2/3 of the way through the first set. I'm going to put you on the spot, Coach. You're in the huddle. What do you tell your team at this point?
Well, first and foremost, we got to get a pass so we can side this ball out. The rotation we're stuck in right now, probably not one of our strongest ones. We need to get back to where we get Talusik back in, and she has a little bit better connection right now with the hitters. And again, maybe we can get that momentum, come back to our side, and have Workman come in, serve about 5 or 6 points in a row, get the momentum back shifted to us. Certainly
has the capability to do that. We'll see if the Knights can do exactly that. But first, they have got to break this service by Allison White. As you mentioned, someone to watch tonight and has been doing very, very well. Service over, taken by Bennett to Arkansas. And a hard shot to the back line. Caitlin Eaton.
You know, and we talked last time about them coming up with a little bit more imaginative ways to get Caitlin the ball. That time she wasn't in the middle. She started out on the right side. The defense really didn't pay that much attention to her, and that's what happens when the defense doesn't pay attention to Caitlin Eaton.
You cannot lose Caitlin Eaton against this squad or you're going to be in trouble. Shot to the back line. Arkansas up in the net. Very long, and what an angle put on that one. Vanessa Pollock skies to get the angle and just put that one down.
That ball was right on top of the net, and so she was able to reach across and put it down. A lot of speed on that ball.
Caitlin Eaton's service to the back line. Little bit of miscommunication again by Roanoke. Knights get it back. And a beautiful touch shot, but
Pollock is in the net again.
Those plays in the net plagued Southern Virginia in their last home contest, starting to come back again. They have got to stop that, especially now tied at 18, heading into the end of this first set. Service from Roanoke College. To the back line, Bennett, Arkansas. Played well by Pollock, taken back by Roanoke College. Once again recovered by the Knights. Great recovery that time. Roanoke again, a little askew. The Knights preserve it again. Longest volley of the match so far. We're still going. Saved by Owen. And a great attempt by that time. Arkansas, who was already on the floor, not knowing Owen was going to get the previous ball, able to connect but not able to keep it in bounds for her team.
And at that point, the Knights need to do something to get the ball further back into the defensive area of the Roanoke Maroons, just so they could get back into their system. But the Maroons are nice, throw the ball out of bounds, tie the score up. Now it's a race to 6, right?
There you go. Natalie Workman and Caitlin Flustig back in the lineup.
And here's the best rotation they've had tonight with Natalie back serving.
And they will need it right now to close this one out. Essentially 0-0 best of 6, as you said. Hard shot that time, deflected off the defender. Alexandra Martin with the strong play for the Maroon.
Now it's all about siding out, making sure you don't give up more than 1 point at a time.
Opportunity for the Knights to do that here. Beautiful set and a hard shot, taken well by Roanoke. Push shot to the back line. Back up for the Knights. Ooh, blocked to the net. The Knights another chance, over on 2. And looks like 2-touch.
Yeah, you don't want your middle blocker to be able to handle a lot of balls. It was fortunate that time when Caitlin took the ball over that it went right to the setter. She had just to put it straight up, and their middle just doesn't have the greatest ball handling skills at all.
Hard shot that time. Kyla Blackmore, lots and lots of power on that one, able to break through the defender and find the floor.
So each team's just siding out now. We're going to find out who's going to get that extra point lead.
Set that time, hard play, but recovered. Hard shot to the outside, and point to Southern Virginia. That time, Allison White just a hair long.
The first team that can get a 2-point lead will probably be the one that goes ahead and finishes it out.
And certainly if it happens after 25.
Even after 25, you still got to win by 2.
Right.
So
short set, taken well by the Knights. A good opportunity here. And service into the net, or spike into the net that time. White looked like she was trying to get a little too much hang in the air, a little too long, and ends up having to play it off of 4.
I think she was trying to go down the line instead of going cross court. The Knights had that very well blocked.
Speaking of well blocked, the Knights with another one. Eaton with the set. Second time, and long shot, just too long. It's a good idea, good set by Phillips, but a good shot by Phillips after the set by Flustig.
And that was the Knights' opportunity right there to get that 2-point lead. That would have been so much nicer, a little bit of breathing room.
And we're back to tied. Now it's a race to 3, win by 2. Flustig with a set. Eaton played off the defender's hands. Shot to the back line by White. Back to Flustig again. Eaton puts it down, but caught in the net.
Oh, and they called Eaton on her follow-through, hitting the net. It could have gone either way on that one, either Caitlin or the middle blocker for the Maroons. Both of them touched the net. I thought maybe simultaneously and get a replay on that one.
Shot by Phillips. Well played that time by Phillips, finding the outside. A great effort by Macy Tyree, but unable to get underneath that. Hitting it is one thing, but getting it up in the air is something else. Able to do the former, not the latter. 23 apiece.
And here we get back into those 3 rotations where the Knights have had some trouble tonight.
And a difficult time to run into that. Arkansas with the service. Good opportunity, short set. Blocked, but another one. Boy, that blocking line. It may be a difficult rotation for the Knights, but Owen and Eaton are just so difficult to get that spike past.
They are. They need to turn their shoulders back into the middle of the floor so the ball goes back to the middle of the floor instead of being pointed out of bounds. Just a little bit of technical error there, and it cost them a point.
23-24 now. Southern Virginia 1 point away from a potential loss here in the first set, or at least 3 points away from a potential win here in the first set. Difficult situation, especially as you mentioned with the rotation. In this rotation, who do you look to?
Well, they got to get a good pass up, and I would do something to move Caitlin Eaton around, not just have her come straight in at the middle because they can triple block her, and they're probably talking about that right now in the Maroons huddle, is to make sure everybody knows where she is, especially in the middle. But if they could run some type of X, move her from the middle over to the right side for one hit, and see if they can create a one-on-one block. Again, I would go with Caitlin Eaton. You know, you dance with who brought you to the dance. Caitlin's been that person all year long. There's no reason to go away from her now.
Absolutely. Tough to go wrong with Caitlin Eaton in this situation. Tough to go wrong with Caitlin on the volleyball floor in any situation.
Yes.
And the pressure right now on the Knights. Kristen Zamet Service coming over from Roanoke. Bennett, Arkansas. Touch shot, well received. Oh, great block that time. Oh, Caitlin Eaton with the tip over the top. And it's tied at 24 apiece.
She's such a quick jumper. I mean, you never hear her land. She's always on the ball with her feet, always going right back up as soon as she touches. Amazing.
Hannah Phillips, service to the back line, taken by White. Service up to the front, well taken by Bennett. Over to Arkansas. Touch shot over. And Pollock able to put it over on two, and all of a sudden, 25-24. The Knights from a point down, now with an opportunity to close out the first set.
And, Coach Trail was over talking to the down ref about something. Don't know what was being said there, but she's very concerned about something.
And that could do it right there. Southern Virginia leading the way through most of the first set. Going down late, looked like they were in trouble, but great job by the Knights to rally through the end of that comeback and win the first set 26-24.
And that's what you love to see. The freshmen and sophomores growing up right in front of your face, being able to play through some difficult situations. I mean, they were down and looked like almost out in a bad rotation. The better servers for Roanoke coming up, and the Knights fought back and took it.
As you said, what you like to see. Speaking of things we like to see, I'm looking at the crowd tonight. A pretty good crowd here out at the volleyball match. Some particular folks of note. We've got Madison Sowell, provost here of the university. We've also got a lot of the faculty. New President Reed Wilcox in the house tonight, and a couple of VIP guests with him. Bruce Olson, friend of the university. He's done a lot with the Zions Camp program and so forth here. And with him, President Swinton, the DC Temple president down in town. The inside scoop there, he will be taking over Zions Camp over the next couple of years. So working with Bruce Olson on that project. Great support from the faculty and staff out here for this team tonight.
It's nice to see everybody come together, whether it's in an athletic sense. I know a lot of people went to the play last weekend, and written by one of our former students.
Yeah, Emery Clough.
Emery Clough. It was a phenomenal spoof on some other plays, and it's just nice to see the campus becoming one instead of little fractions at other places that you can see. You know, we are small. Everybody does know everybody, and you can look at that as a negative, but it's a positive in our sense because of the support that everybody gets.
Yeah. Hey, you know, it's also fun. I was here as a student and then left for a while, came back as a student, then a student worker, and on up through the ranks to working here now. I just always enjoyed, I could go to an athletic event and sit with a professor. You know, I grew up around NC State, Carolina, Duke, great institutions, but that's probably not going to happen. You're probably not going to run into your professor at the grocery store. He's probably not going to be in your bishopric. You know, there's so many opportunities here to get to know your professors and, frankly, the upper level staff and administration. There's lots of folks that never get to meet their university president or their provost and all that. We had a great opportunity to sit down and chat a little bit with President Wilcox, with Provost Sowell, with a lot of people here, and it's just great to have that opportunity to get to know them not only in their role as administrators, but in their role as church members, in their role as members of the community, and in this case, in their role as fans.
And they may not be the greatest athletic awareness person that there is, but they're here to support their students. I mean, they know that the students are in their class. They know them by name. They talk to them as they're going across the campus all the time, and they come to support them just as they would if they were having a quiz bowl or something that some of their students were in. So it's such a unique campus. I've been several other places, and like I said, there's some fractions. You know, oh, you're an athlete, you're a mathematician, you're a science person, you're a thespian, and they didn't really mix. But here, you can be, and you have to be just about all of those.
As Bruce Olson, who I was mentioning, told me today, don't put yourself in a box. Here, you don't have to be in a box. You can be all those different things and all at the same time. However, we do have 6 women from Southern Virginia about to go in a box and see how they can do here in the second set. If you missed it, Southern Virginia, great final there in the first set, 26-24. Able to, as we mentioned, led most of the way through the first set, but then came into trouble at the end, went down by 1 and returned what would have been the set point, able to come back and put away the Roanoke Maroon 26-24. Now leading off the second set. I'm sure Southern Virginia would like to close it a little faster than they did in the first, but you can't argue with the result, can you?
No, you can't argue with the result, but you never, if you have your lead, you always want to keep that lead.
Arkansas's service returned well, and the Maroon able to come up big, scoring that first critical point.
You know, and I never really like to serve first because it's always nice to be on the first attack. You're coming out of a prolonged timeout. It's nice to be able to get that first attacking motion going on.
It's like football. Most teams opt to receive. Double touch. And that one again over to Roanoke College.
You know, and we can't emphasize this enough. Yes, you know, Coach Lee wants to win. Definitely the team wants to win. We want to see them win. But they're doing little things now to prepare them for October 1st when the conference season begins. And watching them grow up is great for us to do it. I know some people get frustrated. They're not winning enough. We should have won this game. I know every time I talk to one of the athletes, they always think they should have won every game they're in. But they're ironing out mistakes now that will help them down the road.
Yeah, much more important for the future. That one, very long, got a little bit away from Tabitha Green, looked like.
Tabitha's in starting for Vanessa Pollock. I don't know if Vanessa's not feeling well tonight or if it's just something that they're trying to work out.
That time over to Bennett after Eaton's spike is blocked. Over again, great play by Bennett, up to Arkansas. Tip shot over by Eaton. Shot to the back line, Bennett again, over to Arkansas. Played well off the fingers by Phillips. Shot goes over, and great, smart play that time by White.
And I misspoke that time. Tabitha's in starting for Melissa Owen. So we don't know if Melissa's not feeling well tonight. But again, a different look.
And the ace that time, Southern Virginia digging a big hole. Now down 0-6 here in the second set against the Maroon.
And I would look for Coach Lee to call a timeout. If they lose this next point, look for her to call a timeout, try to right the ship.
Eaton with the set. And that one down into the net. The Knights all kinds of out of sorts.
And it must be this evil right side.
That's what it is. And there's the timeout. As you predicted, difficult play that time. Like we said, the Knights really digging themselves a hole now, 7-0. As we mentioned, one substitute in for Owen, which changes things up. Besides that and the potential curse of the side, what in your mind is the difference?
You know, there's an emotional letdown every once in a while. You win a big game like they just did. You have a tendency to think, well, now we got it. We're on a roll. The team that just lost, they are fighting mad.
Hungry.
So they're gonna do everything they can to prove that was not who they really are. And right now, Roanoke is doing that.
Well, and it's easy to get in the mentality of, oh, we just won, it's okay. But let's not forget, it was a 2-point win, 26-24. So it's not, it wasn't a crushing victory in the first one, but it's shaping up, unfortunately, to be a crushing loss at this point if the Knights, as you said, can't right the ship and turn it around. Down 7-0 at this point. The service from Jessica Block. Into the back row. Up to Arkansas. Caitlin Eaton to the back line. Hard shot back over, blocked at the line. That one out of bounds. And the Knights still unable to break this service.
And Coach Lee's going with a 6-2, trying to keep a setter in the back row at all times, keeping 3 hitters in front. But Valerie's just having a tough time right now connecting with the hitters. She may want to think about going back to just a 5-1.
And the Knights just all over each other that time. I guess you would call that out of system.
Way out of system. No communication. That's what I call that one.
Yeah, 3 players all trying to play that at the same time. Again, well played. Lots of great play from the back line by Pollock. And that one goes out.
And thank goodness Roanoke put that one out to break their own momentum.
Yeah, Southern Virginia certainly had a difficult time doing it so far. A gift from the Maroon, but after the damage of 9 points is already done. Service comes in, push to the back line, well played. Arkansas up. And wow, lucky break that time. Pollock plays into the defender and it rolls back to the Southern Virginia side, but just barely out of bounds.
Yeah, but that's what the Knights need. Any little break they can get right now is something that they just have to try to force it to happen.
Kind of a weird situation that time with the push over on the far side. And is that player in the net?
Yes, they called number 17, Logan Graves in the net. After she landed, she took that extra step, went into the net. Now, you know, it's not pretty volleyball now, but the Knights are starting to climb back into the game.
Points any way you can get them at this point. Oh, beautiful shot. Well played that time by Roanoke College to stop that short run by Southern Virginia. Now 3-10.
Substitution for Southern Virginia, number 1, Delaney Lakin.
That's Arkansas coming out, who's had a really good night tonight so far. She's been all over the place. Delaney Layton coming in for her. And immediately into the action.
Again, Coach Lee's trying to change some things up. Valerie has been all over the place. A little bit of misconnections with some of the hitters, especially with Eaton up front. I think Coach Lee's just trying to get through this rotation to get Talusic in and then maybe run back to a 5-1.
Beautiful play that time. Southern Virginia able to put that one down. Vanessa Pollock with authority. Southern Virginia could use a long stretch of that.
Yeah, and the Knights have to understand there's no such thing as a 7-point play here. They're going to have to just take 1 point at a time and manufacture points.
Once again, good job at the net. And the Knights, as you mentioned, needing 7, but able to get 1 that time. Starting to crawl back into this when they were down 9-0 at one point, now down by 6. Eaton's service. And it sails wide.
And now some of that implosiveness that the Knights were experiencing early on, Roanoke's going through the same thing.
Eaton still at the service line. That shot long. And a lot of these last few plays, as you mentioned, it's been Roanoke just aiming wide.
Yeah, they look like they're aiming for the high hands, trying to get the ball to go off the block when they really don't have to.
Lead now down to 5. Eaton close to getting the ace. The free ball comes over. Back at the line. Oh, the jump just not there for Callenberry. Not able to get to it. But still a great run by the Knights that time.
And that's what the Knights need. You know, if you can get back and score 3 or 4 points at a time while you limit the other team to just 1 point, you can dig out of a hole pretty easily.
Well, they definitely cannot play side out at this point. Needing to put a run together, and certainly the sooner the better as we approach 25. Taking the back line. Service up. Taken well by Roanoke. Free balled over. Couple of good plays by Pollock. And that one unable to get together. Again, the Knights looking just a little bit out of sorts.
You know, and it seems like on the easy plays, the Knights just lose concentration. The hard plays, the spectacular plays, they concentrate all the way through. Little free balls coming over, they just lose concentration.
Speaking of losing concentration, once again, Roanoke gifting a point over to Southern Virginia. The long service that time, and great play by the Knights, looking to take it until the very last second, realizing they pull off and get the point for free.
Now here's Natalie Workman. Scored a lot of points on the service line for the Knights in the first set. Let's hope she can do the same thing in the second set.
Very long again. And boy, Roanoke College, who was just clicking in the first part of this set, now really struggling just to get the ball in bounds.
You know, and if they lose one or two more, well, there we go. It saves Coach Trail over there a timeout, because one or two more points given up, she would have got up to stop the bleeding right away.
Well, that lead, again, was at 9. It's kind of vacillated around that 5 to 7 region, now down to 5. The Knights needing to close that gap. Alexandra Martin now at the service line for the Maroon. Taken by Bennett. Up to Tlustik. Oh, and Tlustik sets it a little wide.
Yeah, Vanessa was coming in not on a wide out approach, but right down the line, looking to probably put the ball down the line. And the set, unfortunately, was just a little bit too wide for her.
Ooh. Well played that time. The Knights looking a little bit, again, bunched up a little too much, looking like they were in trouble, but get bailed out.
You know, it looks like they're going to, the Maroon are going to try to start serving Pollock, try to take some of the legs out from under, having to receive serve all the time.
And a heck of an effort that time by Bennett to get underneath it. Doesn't get there, but ends up probably a good thing considering it goes out of bounds. Lead back down to 4. Into Bennett. Bennett to Tlustik over in 2. Taken well by Roanoke, but again, out of sorts. Free ball over. Tlustik. Hard to Phillips. Over in 2 again. Knights diving all over themselves. Tlustik over in 2 again. And the hard shot that time. Roanoke College looking to close that one out.
2 free balls from the Maroon over to the Knights. That's 2 chances to put the ball down, and the Knights really didn't get a good swing on either one of those chances. And those are things that you cannot let get by you.
Yeah, you only get so many opportunities before your opponent able to do the same. A little bit of a broken play again, but the Knights able to hang in. What ends up broken, or what starts out Southern Virginia broken, ends up broken for Roanoke College.
It seems like the mental mistakes are contagious. Both sides now are committing them left and right.
Yeah, certainly not as clean as we saw in the first set, but that favoring Southern Virginia right now as it leads back to 4. Oh, great play that time. Diving for it is Pollock. Into the back line, over to Roanoke. Their shot is long. And point to Southern Virginia. Now the lead down to 3. I don't believe the Knights have seen a gap as short as 3 since it was 3-0.
Oh, that's right.
And a good time to start clicking heading into the second half of this set. Difficult serve. Proves too difficult to field by Roanoke, and Southern Virginia continuing to close that gap.
And as bad as the Knights were playing in the first 9 points, Roanoke's playing that bad in the last 9 points.
Boy, a sinker of a serve and an ace. Southern Virginia coming alive. Vanessa Pollock getting into it a little bit, supporting her service libero, April Bennett.
Again, April's one of those that we watched last year excel. This year she's just doing even better.
Tlustik to Eaton, but Roanoke recovers. Free ball over. Tlustik again. This time to Phillips.
Again, pushed it too far outside. Either that or the outside hitters aren't taking a wide enough approach.
Well, either way, a great run by the Knights, but still down to 2.
And again, coming where they were from, down by 9. Now they've dug themselves back out, and this is something that Coach Lee has got to try to figure out with their team. They cannot get down like this.
Absolutely. So hard to come back, but they're doing it so far. Hannah Phillips.
And doesn't it just look so nice when they really connect?
Oh, absolutely. She smoked that ball. Not a lot of service opportunities tonight for Delaney Layton, but she's at the line for the Knights now, trailing by 1. Into the back line of Roanoke. Touch shot over the top. Bennett to Layton. And holy cow, that was a spike from halfway back on the court by Vanessa Pollock. My goodness.
She only knows to go one speed and one speed only, and that's all out. And you can tell just by watching her how she puts everything into her play.
When I saw her jump, I thought, oh, that's a shame that it was back so far, but believed in herself enough to get it down. Bennett digs that one out over Delaney. A little too hard on that one. But the Knights able to tie up, now down by one, but showing that they are going to hang on as a contender in this second set.
And again, these slow starts, they have to figure out what causes this, because as they get into the conference, they will play against two teams that are ranked in the top 20 in NCAA Division III.
I'm guessing you can't get away with that.
You cannot get away with that at all.
Shot to the back line. It looked almost like it was going to be an easy free ball take for Roanoke, but just a nice sinker. Well played by Caitlin Eaton. You know, she was really just coming off with so much power in her last game, but tonight a lot more finesse.
That's what things are being called for.
Finding the floor on that one, Hannah Phillips with the untouched ace, and the Knights take the lead 19-18 after trailing 9-0 to start. Great hustle by the Knights to try to get into that one, but it looked like White's spike just a little too powerful.
Now here we are, same score as last set.
Yep.
19-19. Let's see what happens now.
We sure got here differently, but you're right. The situation now the same. And in off the wire, or out off the wire.
Yeah, if it hits the antenna, the ball's automatically out. Pollock tried to go down the line just a little bit too much instead of taking it cross court.
Southern Virginia gets the point on that one. Player in the net.
It was close. I thought that was Caitlin that was in the net that time.
I did too until I saw the Southern Virginia players cheering.
Yeah, I'm glad that the down ref saw it a little bit different than we did. That's why we're not out there.
There you go. Eaton now with the service. Hard to the back line. And shot too hard to take.
And that slide has been giving both teams so much trouble tonight. They're not being able to close the block down like they would want. One team, whoever figures that out, will take a lot away from the other offense.
20-21. Southern Virginia back down by 1 point. White at the service line. Over to Southern Virginia. Layton with the setup. To the back line. Roanoke College close to the net. Layton, great adjustment for the spike by Pollock. Blocked at the net.
Rolled up the antenna again.
Yep.
I mean, great try by Tabitha Green to take the touch again after block. That antenna just gets you too many times.
Timeout taken. Southern Virginia now, again, we have to look at it from the perspective of they're doing really well. They're down 2, but if you don't start this one out 0-9, you're in handy control of this set. I mean, in that scenario, you got a great lead.
Yeah, again, these are freshman mistakes or young player mistakes that they have to work on, and this is something they have to figure out in practice settings. They have to do a little bit more competitiveness in their practice settings to make sure that they don't start out 0-9 anymore, because when Christopher Newport comes in or Salisbury comes in, they're going to be ranked, and you don't want to be down 0-9 because the next thing you see is 25-11.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, tougher opponents, that climbing back in becomes almost an impossibility. You've got to kind of hang the whole way through. We'll see if the Knights now are able to hang down 2, looking to come back once again in this second set. Layton. Shot finds the floor. Callan Berry.
Great job by Callan there, and also by Layton, not trying to do too much with the sets. I was going to talk about her at the break, but she made a great set back there in the back row to Pollock. Didn't try to do too much with it. Let Pollock's athleticism take over. Just a smart setter.
Long kind of float serve that time by Workman. Blocked at the net by Southern Virginia. Now over in 2. Set by Tlustik. And hard shot. Look at that excitement. Southern Virginia. Callan Berry finds it again. Now tied at 22 apiece.
You know, and Tlustik's been doing this and playing for 2 years. She's a junior now. She's a leader. And you can just see the confidence in her setting as opposed to the 2 freshmen that Southern Virginia has.
Blocked at the net again by Southern Virginia. And it looks again like Southern Virginia in trouble in the first set, able to pull it back together. The Knights in trouble late in this second set, but now leading 23-22. This looks familiar, doesn't it?
It's very familiar. We've seen this before. Deja vu, right?
All over again.
All over again. Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
There we go. The social references out there. But again, the Knights have to try to take some of that exuberance that we see and channel it a little bit more, or start with it a little bit more in the first of the set. We saw them very flat in the first of the set.
Yep.
Nothing like they are right now.
Yeah, very high energy, very high emotion right now. And if you look across the net to Roanoke, there's not that at all. Probably because they were up 9-0, and then again have had a couple of chances to close it out since then, but have had some mental mistakes. Again, so many just wide shots this time by Roanoke. That's got to be bothering them, and if they lose this set, I have to imagine their coach will remind them of that come tomorrow.
You're absolutely correct. Unforced errors, you just can't have those.
Workman's service over. Great dig out of the back line by Southern Virginia, and a hard shot. Too hard to take, Vanessa Pollock.
And again, we see the end result, but it starts with the pass, and then Caitlin Tlustik put the ball right where it had to be, about 2 foot off the net, so Pollock could get that nice swing through, and there's nothing that the defense can do.
And a great job. I didn't see who it was in the back line of Southern Virginia, but a very fast, low ball that they were able to dig out, and as you said, turn into a play. We talked about it a lot in the last broadcast about getting that first hit, about giving yourself an opportunity to make a play, because if you're scrambling from the first hit, even if you correct a little bit on the second, a little bit on the third, it's never going to be as good as if you just have that nice, slow played first shot.
Yeah, the first pass is the most important thing. You can't do anything else without that pass, and that's something that the Knights, when they're on, we see their passing just create so much for their offense.
Yep.
But when that pass is off, we see the end result in, well, a 9-0 deficit at the beginning.
Which could be closed out here. The Knights with set point. Oh, great push shot. Dug out by April Bennett. Over in 2 that time by Pollock. Roanoke staying alive for the moment. And Southern Virginia.
No touch.
What a closeout.
No touch on that one. Great job by Southern Virginia to come back. I don't think that's the way that Coach Lee would have drawn it up. The ending, I'm sure that's what she would say.
Sure.
That's what she wanted. But she wants to see that type of energy and that type of explosiveness from the beginning of the set all the way through.
Oh, absolutely. But I think it does say a lot, though, to go down so hard early and be able to stick with it, rally back, and have that adrenaline stay with you to carry you all the way through the end.
You know, and that excitement, enthusiasm, that's something that they actually practice. It's one of these nice things that my office is right up above the gym here. And when volleyball practice starts, you can always tell, because everything they do is there's always cheering going on, just like they have won the last point of a 5th set. So it's a great thing that they are able to do throughout the whole set.
Yeah, and hopefully they'll be able to carry that energy through now. Certainly big motivation, big push in their favor at this point to carry through after the end of that very, very emotional set. We'll see if they can start off this one. As you mentioned, big emotional win in the first set as well. Fell flat at the beginning of the second. They're going to have to carry that through to the beginning of this one if they can.
But that's something that Coach Lee is going to be able to point out and tell them that, we started out flat last time. Let's not let that happen again. Yes, it's an emotional game. We came back, took it to them, but do not let the same thing happen in this third set that happened in the second set.
Absolutely. It's so important to not rely on those mistakes because, frankly, that's what saved the game for them. It wasn't so much Southern Virginia's great play as it was Roanoke keeping them in the game, keeping them alive, and then drawing momentum from the mistakes of the other team rather than having to produce their own. And, of course, once that happens, the emotional snowball, the momentum starts going in your direction, and then they were able to make some plays. But if not for those big mistakes early on, I'm not sure the Knights would have won that set.
And that's part of the volleyball, too, is making sure that you keep the ball in play long enough to get the other team to make those mistakes. If you always make the mistakes before the other team has a chance to do anything, then we're not going to be able to stay in very many matches as we go forward.
Well, we'll see what the Knights can do here. As you said, taking that energy, that momentum, and hopefully changing things up from how they did starting off the second set. Certainly don't want to put themselves in that situation again. We'll see if they can start the third set as strong as they finished the second. Here in about 30 seconds, we're going to break away, and we'll be back with you here in just a minute. And we are back starting this third set. Southern Virginia up 2-0 over Roanoke College. Some very, very close sets. First, Southern Virginia winning 26-24. And then the second set after going down 0-9, coming back and closing out 25-22. The Knights now looking, hopefully, to close out a quick third set and call it an early night.
And it's not that long of a trip back to Roanoke, but if you go down 3-0 and know that you should have won those matches, sets, it is a long trip. It's only about a 35-minute trip, but it can seem like hours.
Oh, I'm sure. And the Knights starting right where they left off. Great set that time by Flustic. And Caitlin Eaton putting it down, finding the floor and starting out 1-0. They've already started out better than they did in the second set.
There you go. And again, being able to find Caitlin Eaton at the very beginning and giving her a chance to jumpstart your offense is something that's a luxury.
Absolutely. Service over again. Roanoke College, that's White. White that time able to play off the hands of the defenders. And the point goes over to Roanoke College. Service for Ryan Hedgepeth. Taken by Bennett. Try to push shot over the top, not going to make it. Blocked again at the net by Roanoke. But a hard play, well timed that time and just to the outside. Caitlin Eaton making her presence felt.
Again, anything close to that net Caitlin can get to, she's going to put a great angle on it, and more than likely the ball is going to be very hard to play back.
Service continuing. Hannah Phillips. Free ball over to Southern Virginia. Great opportunity here. Oh! And a double touch. Southern Virginia's mental mistakes a little bit, stopping a potential run, now tied at 2 apiece.
Yeah, but as you said, already starting out so much better than the last
Absolutely.
set.
Absolutely. Allison White now at the service line for the Roanoke Maroon. Into the back line to Eaton. Over to Layton. And wow, just hanging in the air.
Nice off-speed shot.
Very much so. Eaton.
Some people want to say, oh, that was a miss hit. Well, it hit the floor. It counts as a kill.
Absolutely. And as if she's not doing enough, Eaton now to the service line. Good tough shot. Diving save for Southern Virginia. Great play by Delaney Layton, but the Knights unable to get underneath it. And we are back and forth now, 3 apiece. Service from Roanoke College.
Oh, and there's number 11 for Roanoke, Alexander Martin. Nice little dump over on second hit. Saw that the Knights were unaware and unprepared. Found the hole in the defense when they will put it down.
And that means the first lead of the day for Roanoke College, I believe, in this set, 4-3.
And you have Toulouse coming back in. She probably going to run a 5-1 now for the rest of this set. Try to make sure that those connections with the hitters are absolute.
Low serve that time. Tlustik, as you said, over to Pollock, but deflected well at the net. And a little bit of a run starting here for the Maroon.
Looks like the Maroon are trying to slow the pace of the game down just a little bit.
Oh my goodness. What a hard, low shot over the net that time.
And it looks like the Knights are finding a new rising star in the middle. We know that Caitlin Eaton is a senior and will be moving on after this season. Looks like Miss Berry is ready to take up the mantle.
Yeah, Callan Berry, great performance so far. And the Knights put an end to that run quickly and come back tying it at 5 points apiece.
Again, we have Natalie Workman back, starting off the service points, racking them up as she goes along.
Great dig out that time by Bennett. Over and 2 by Tlustik. And a free ball over to Southern Virginia. Bennett, Tlustik, hard shot. My goodness. That is Vanessa Pollock just striking hard.
She is able to find a lot of floor a lot of times. Workman back with her service again. Nice up. Oh, and there we have Caitlin Toulouse in the net that time. It wouldn't have mattered as the Roanoke Maroon were able to find a overpass. And the overpasses usually happen. Kills happen on the other side. Oh, nice set. And there's Pollock again, able to reach up and over to the top of the block for the Maroon.
She has got such power. It is just so impressive to watch her athleticism as she gets anywhere near that net. As we saw in the last set, sometimes she doesn't even need to be near the net. Oh, played right off the hands of the defenders that time.
And Bennett looks a little bit upset. She took a step back to start off with instead of step forward. She knows that she could have had that ball. That's what you like to see in the libero. They want to and believe that they can have every ball.
Now tied at 7 apiece. Tlustik set, hard shot down the line that time.
Kaylin Berry again.
She is just so impressive as well. Lots of Southern Virginia players. You know, the last game that we had, it was pretty much the Caitlin Eaton show, but definitely getting spread around a lot. Lots and lots of weapons for the Knights. Bennett's service. Free ball over by White. Played up the net, Tlustik. And a shot that time. Hannah Phillips, haven't called her name in a little while, but plays it well off the defender and gets the deflection out of bounds.
And again, it's not always that you have to put the ball down on the ground. You can use the blockers, especially if you find them out of position.
Once again over to Roanoke. Hard shot by White. Blocked at the line. White with a second chance. Sends it to the back line and able to put it down.
And that block was a little bit different than the one we saw with the Maroon. We saw Caitlin Eaton able to turn her hands and shoulders back into the middle of the floor that kept the ball in play. Nice up by Pollock. Oh, and a good play by number 9, Sarah Long for the Maroon, but called for a 2 was number 6, Macy Tyree.
Yeah, beautiful play at the net that time after that hard shot by Barry, by Phillips. The Knights getting some fortuitous luck in this one to go with their strong talent. A little bit of luck always helps, doesn't it?
And there's Eaton again. She just has such a presence at the net, whether it's offensive or defensive. And you watch her hands. I hope the people at home can see that she goes straight up and then follows the ball, and her hands will go one side or the other, following the ball and not just making sure that she is static at the block.
Yeah, and that absolutely not talent. That absolutely, as you said, just such athleticism and such smarts to go at the net, watch where it was going up, explode up with the defender, and just she's right in position to make those blocks time and time again.
You know, she's just an absolute talent and just a pleasure to watch. You don't see a lot of players of her caliber come to small schools, and it's just a testament to the atmosphere here at Southern Virginia that she wanted to be here, along with her husband, who plays on the men's basketball team, to help take the teams into the new NCAA era. And she's just a great person for the freshmen to look up to and learn from. And we see that Kaylin Berry, has learned a lot from her just in the short time that they've been together. Absolutely.
And as you mentioned, Preston Eaton, a real resource, playing shooting guard, I believe, for the men's team. Just a lot of fun. We'll get to see him come this winter and then in the spring again. Service up for Tlustik for Southern Virginia. And it sails just wide. As you always say, proving the timeout effective, right?
Yeah, but you've got to tell your servers, just roll the ball in. It's 900 square feet out there. Put it in one of those 900 square feet so you can get the ball back.
Not the 901st that's just wide.
Exactly.
Touch shot over by Phillips. White able to sneak it through the hands of Tabitha Green. She's got such force on that.
And Coach Trail has to be pleased with her timeout call. It's broke the momentum of Southern Virginia. They have to really settle down and get a good pass on this serve.
And as a result now, 11-10. Ooh, well played that time by Phillips to keep it in play. And that's just barely not over the net. 4 hits.
And there we go into that new rule where the hitter can come down after she maintains or gets contact with the floor, is able to hit the outside post. That used to be automatically out, but right now they're letting them play with that.
Tlustik, Bennett, shot down, and that time
Tabitha Green.
Yeah, Green, not a lot of power, but a great spot to find it. You don't always need a lot of power on it, and that time finding the floor.
You know, placement over power, that's what we used to preach.
Absolutely. Phillips now from the line, taken by White, and right back at her.
Oh, nice set play. A little X by the Maroon. Again, getting the ball to their better hitters, Allison White. Now she gets to go back and start their service points.
Yeah, a little.
Oh, and they're bringing White out now.
A little two-person game on that.
Have number 15 for the Maroon, Kristen Zamek, going back to serve now. And play was stopped. The captain came off the floor, so now the Coach Trail had to let them know who the new captain would be on the floor.
Well, White done a very good job as captain, clearly leading this team. Wow, well dug out that time by Hedgepeth. A little bit of a scramble for both teams at this point. Well taken by the Knights again. Again, dug out well by Blackmore off Pollock's shot to the back line. Taken by Phillips to the outside. Pollock, and the Knights just unable after a rally that long, not able to keep their legs. Really just a very long set, or a very long
rally, and Tabitha Green wanted to end it right there. Again, she just played it back to the back third of the court and tried to get one more rally going.
Bennett, Tlustik, back set. Eaton blocked at the net. Tlustik, far side. A little bit long on that one, and we're tied at 13 apiece. Boy, besides that first initial stretch, it has been very, very close. The first stretch of the second set, very close all night. And again, very wide that time, service by Roanoke.
And again, with it being so close, and Knights can really kind of be thankful that they're playing at home. If we were down at Roanoke, the games and the sets could have gone the other way very easily. With the crowd that we have here and the Knights drawing from the crowd, that I believe helped them get 1 or 2 extra points.
Hard shot that time. Roanoke College able to connect on that one. I believe that was Jessica Block. Or excuse me, I think it was Brooke Bostwick able to find the floor, and again tied at 14.
And this is what we expected at the very beginning of the set. Back and forth, who's going to be able to make all the adjustments, and both teams have.
Pollock with a hard shot, played over, back to Southern Virginia, step by Tlustik. And a double touch. So many mental mistakes on both sides of the ball.
You know, we've seen a lot of double touches tonight, and then we've seen a lot that haven't been called that should have. So the setters are trying to figure out what's that happy medium and what can they get away with.
To the back line, Tlustik, and the hard shot, it sails long.
No, we got it touched,
and they're saying it's touched at the net. And Southern Virginia tying it up again. All of a sudden 15 apiece, and it's the race to 10.
And again, using the blocker's hands. Pollock went off the high hands. Once that ball starts sailing out of bounds, you don't really chase it down. You just,
ooh.
Nice serve by Workman.
Great dig out that time by Workman. Played over by Bennett. Free ball over. Ooh, that looked like it was blocked by the net to me.
Yeah, I didn't think they didn't think she got it over there. But we're not the referee.
Making sure there is no doubt on that one, though.
Point goes over to Roanoke, though. We have a different vantage point than the referee. He has it up higher. Maybe he saw someone reaching across the net and getting it. So,
well, we've certainly seen some that should have gone the other way from our perspective too. So
exactly.
Certainly cuts both ways.
Yes, it does.
Tlustik, free ball over by Bennett. Up to the net. Oh!
There is a free gift for Southern Virginia, and Tlustik just took it way wide to the right.
Overplayed. It's got to be exciting when you see that opportunity come up and just a little too much on it, unfortunately. Good touch that time, and a great job. Tlustik again, a little bit of trickery, able to get it over.
Is either that or not be able to make the set. And Caitlin's always been offensive-minded. She's learned where to place the ball now as opposed to just trying to make plays happen.
And that time the ace mishandled a little bit in the back line that time by Kristen Zammit.
Here we are, 17-17. It's nip and tuck.
So many late game ties in these sets so far. Hard shot, and it sails.
And
Southern Virginia's point.
Roanoke was asking for a touch. Neither one of the line judges or the up or down ref saw it that way, so point Southern Virginia.
Now 18-17 again, just so close. Hard shot that time, and it goes off the Southern Virginia defenders. Kyla Blackmore. A lot of heat on that one.
Again, it was a great shot. If the Knights would have penetrated the net, maybe they could have got it to stay on the Roanoke side, but being so far back from the net, just ping-ponged off their chest into the net.
18 apiece. Race to 7, win by 2. Tlustik. Shot over and helped out by the net a little bit that time. Hannah Phillips.
You gotta love the net, right?
Sometimes you gotta hate it.
Yeah, exactly.
19-18. Service by Bennett. Taken in the back line. The Knights again. Tlustik. Oh, played just short that time by Phillips. See, sometimes you got to hate the net.
Yeah, Phillips tried to cut that ball just a little bit too much. That might have been one that she wanted to play off the high hands of the blockers.
19 apiece. Another late set tie. Pollock. Blue stick. Eaton.
Oh, that should have.
Oh.
In my opinion, that should have been a double contact, that second one. So, you know, he's being consistent, though.
There you go. Which, in any sport, that's what you got to ask from the referees.
Exactly. Absolutely. They've done a great job tonight keeping everything going and been very consistent with all their calls.
Oh, very long that time. Flustic not able to keep the service in bounds and gets us another tie at 20 apiece.
And that's something that you wouldn't expect to see from a junior who's been doing this for 2 years. Nice hit by Tabitha Green, and there's a double hit. Caught on the maroon. Gives the Knights a 21-20 lead with Hannah Phillips going back to serve.
Opportunity now from Phillips. Catches Roanoke in a tough spot. Beautiful touch over the top. Caitlin Eaton.
And Eaton can go with either hand. She goes up with the right hand or her left hand, whichever one's more advantageous to her.
And certainly in that one, again, not the power that we saw in the last one, but such finesse, able to score at will.
This is a critical point for the Knights. If they can get this point, they are really in the driver's seat.
And misplayed by White into the net. 23-20, and that's going to be a timeout taken by the Maroon, looking to avoid going down in 3 sets tonight. Not the situation that we expected. I think, at least on our end, expected to be a close contest, and it has been.
It has been a very close contest.
But both of those close sets so far going to the Knights, and this one favoring them.
And that last point that the Knights got, even though it was a mistake on the Maroon, that last point gives you so much more breathing room. You're able to be a little bit freer now, not so tense, and I'm looking for the Knights to run this out in these last 2 points.
As we've talked about in the past, and as you like to point out, Coach, at this point, it's rally. All you've got to do is exchange points, go back and forth, blow for blow, and you do that, you come out with the win. The Knights really hoping to close this. It would be great to be able to do it in 3. It's a lot less effort for them, I'm sure, if you can get the win in 3 sets instead of 5.
Oh, yes.
Better to do that.
I had a great friend that told me, we went down to a tournament that was held in Savannah, Georgia. At that time, Savannah was ranked in the top 10 in NAIA, and he said, either win in 3 or lose in 3. We don't want any of this 5-set stuff.
There you go. Oh, my goodness.
There's 14, Brooke Bostic. She's not ready to go home yet.
And a couple of players coming back in the lineup as well. Kyla Blackmore and Kristen Zamet, 23-21 now.
Still, we're in side-out volleyball. All they have to do is side out and play that. Just, we'll take one, you take one, and the Knights can go home happy.
Taken by Bennett. Long at the line. Flustic. And they're saying...
They got Flustic in the net.
Oh. And all of a sudden, side out gets a little closer, 23-22.
And that's why that last point that the Knights got was so important.
Service coming over again. Crowd getting a little loud for the group here. Flustic. Service over the top. Third shot over. Free ball long to the back line. Taken by Phillips. Flustic. Pollock. And Pollock able to get it off the defender's hands. Point to Southern Virginia. Here is the opportunity. 24-22. Now looking to close it out.
This is who you want on the back of the service line, your senior leader. Let's see if Caitlin Eaton can close this one out. Oh, and no. Again, side-out volleyball. Looked like Bostic was able to come back again, say she's not ready to go. All the Knights have to do is side out right now. 3-0 great match. And Coach Lee has called timeout. Maybe want to remind her team of that. No problems. We just have to side out.
Good opportunity at this point to take a real slow closeout. They've got an opportunity.
So now we've got 24-23. The Knights are in command. They have the opportunity to receive serve and opportunity to run this back out on them. No big problem. The Knights have been here before. Again, you're in a great rotation. You have Barry up front, you have Pollock up front, and you got Green up front. This is a great rotation for the Knights to be in. Receiving serve for the Knights now will be Pollock and Phillips, and that looks like Bennett. So you got your three best passers in the back row. Number 11, Alexandra Martin, is going to serve. Let's see if she tries to go short or if they try to attack Pollock. They've been trying to attack her all night long.
As you said, the Knights an opportunity to close. They've got the tools they need in there. Good first hit by Phillips. Long down the line, just wide. Pollock, lots of power, not quite positioned.
Well, let's play extra points, Art. Let's play extra points.
Well, it worked out for the Knights in the first set. We'll see now. 24 apiece. It's essentially the first to two. Over again. Hard shot played off the hands, and that'll be the first point to Southern Virginia. Attacking Pollock indeed, but Pollock able to help contribute that time as the shot, I believe, Tabitha Green put down.
No, that was Kaylin Berry running a little slide. Again, that 1 foot attack behind the setter, make the defense move. If you can go up against a static defense, they'll win most of the time. But if you make the defense move, the offense has a great chance to win that point.
Match point with the opportunity for the Knights to close here. Hard play off the net. Difficult situation. The Knights keep it alive, though. Free ball over to the Maroon. And able to stay alive and tie it up. We're tied at 25 points apiece.
And again, this is the type of match that we thought we would see. Didn't know that it would be a 2-0 match to start off with, but very close back and forth. A lot of high energy in the arena tonight.
Energy indeed. Lots of reason for it. Lots of close contests. Now in the third set, tied at 25. Oh, and that one's going to go just wide. Now the lead going back over to the Maroon. They have the chance to close out the set, not the match.
Yeah, the Knights should feel like they're in the driver's seat no matter what happens.
Brooke Bostwick. Service over. Flu stick. Pollock. Taken well. Still dug out. Bennett. Flu stick. Pollock. Kept alive by Roanoke. Free ball. Taken over, and that will be the point. Southern Virginia ties it up again at 26.
And again, moving Berry back behind the setter. I think the offense for the Knights is starting to evolve a little bit more than just here outside or middle or right side. Now let's start moving the hitters around.
And the service just wide. Critical error at this point.
Again, the Knights should be playing very tense. They do have a 2-0 lead.
True.
And whether they win this one or not, I'm sure they would love to, but even if they don't, they still have that 2-0 lead, so they should be playing very loose now.
You're right. All the pressure at this point on the Maroon, trying to stay alive, but the timeout over to Southern Virginia. 26-27 at this point. The Knights trying to stay alive in the set, but the Maroon trying to stay alive in the match.
Yeah, we're going to see who wants to win the most right now. And by saying who wants to win the most, it's going to be who doesn't make that critical mistake.
Well, and certainly some mental mistakes on both sides of the ball this evening. Difficult to say who at this point it's going to play. As you said, contagious. It's been spreading all over the place. But both teams certainly in this set cleaned it up a lot. It's been a lot better than the second one.
Yes, it has. This has been volleyball that we expected to see tonight. You know, although the first 2 sets, the scores are very close, there was a lot of runs and there was a lot of mental mistakes committed by one team or the other. And this one has been very close all the way through. Like you said, they cleaned it up a lot. This is the type of atmosphere that we wanted, a lot of fans here. This is the type of volleyball that we wanted to see. Again, let's see if the Knights can grow up just a little bit more and tie this game up and then get the next 2 points.
We shall see. Once again, 26-27, the Knights trailing by 1. It is a win by 2 scenario at this point. The Knights up 2 sets, looking to close the match. The Maroon trying to stay alive. Bennett, flu stick. Little misplayed, hit over by Barry. Oh, and White able to roll it down the net. The Knights go down in this set. Now 2 sets to 1. The Maroons showing signs of life. As we said, it has been a close contest all day so far.
And we really didn't want to go right now. We wanted to stay and watch more volleyball.
Welcome, everybody. In here between the 3rd and 4th sets, we have a special treat tonight. President Wilcox, the newly named president of Southern Virginia University, in the house. President, what are your thoughts? Quite an exciting contest. Lots of close.
Fantastic. It's fantastic. The girls are unbelievable, and this is such a great place. I mean, it's intimate, it's fun, it's exciting. There's all kinds of energy here. It's fantastic.
Absolutely. We call it the barn here. As you probably know, it used to be an actual horse barn where we're sitting right now.
We're used to the barn. We just came from Stanford.
There you go. A very closed venue where we get to be close to a lot of people.
Fantastic.
We were commenting there in the first half how interesting it is to look around and see faculty members and alum and students and administration as well.
And parents.
And parents.
I met a parent who flew in from Colorado
for
the game.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
So your thoughts a little bit on that small, the small field that we have, the opportunity to interact with everybody. We know what it's like from a student perspective to have the opportunity to meet with administration. How about you, from your side, going the other way?
Well, it's part of what makes this such a great place, because we get to see almost everybody almost every day, and there's nothing like that. This is fantastic. I love it.
Outstanding. Well, we're hoping to get to see a lot of you here at the athletics matches. We'll grab you on the mic from time to time.
This is why we're here.
Absolutely. We're going to get back to the 4th set here, and hopefully we'll get to chat with your wife perhaps in between the next sets.
She's the best. So
outstanding. Thanks so much. We'll be back here in just a minute with the 4th set. You know, we were just talking in that set about the opportunity to interact with upper-level administration students and everything else here in such a small venue. Who'd have thunk we'd actually get a chance to sit down and chat with the university president a little bit.
And I know his wife would like to talk also, so I could give up my seat again and let her come and take care of some things.
Well, I like my job too much to put the president's wife on the spot like that, but we'll definitely get with her after this fourth set. Speaking of, Flustic, Bennett, hard shot to the back line by Phillips, and able to keep it in.
And a great set there by Bennett. You notice she checked her feet as soon as she slipped to go to the set. A libero cannot set the ball in front of the attack line, so she was, all right, I'm good.
Over to Roanoke College, shot to the back line. Caitlin Eaton just stuffing that right back down. Great energy, great poise so far by the Knights starting this fourth set.
And again, we're hoping that the Knights understand they are in control here. They have the lead. They don't have to play tight.
And that one on the line, or just outside the line. Southern Virginia with the point. A great start for them, leading 3-0 now. So far on the back of Caitlin Flustic. Over in 2, Owen back in. Didn't see her in the second set, or the third set, I believe.
It's Tabitha Green at that time.
Knights.
Looks like Coach Lee's going a little bit more blocking.
That first point now by the Maroon. 3-1. Flustic, Eaton. Returned, but just barely, and it goes long. Little bit of miscommunication that time. Again, tough to field Eaton's spike. So even when you're able to get under it, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're able to return it, as was the case that time. Service by Phillips. Little net play favors the Maroon. And again, just that back and forth, 4-2.
Well, I would settle for side-out volleyball the rest of the time. Knights win. We go home happy.
That would be quite the streak of side-outs. Bennett, Flustic, Eaton keeps it in.
I like to see Eaton move around, not just come in at the middle. I'd love to see her go to the right side a little bit more often, or even loop around and hit on the outside here on the left side.
Getting back to the power game, at least on that one. Eaton now from the line. White, block, and that time, point back over to Roanoke. Well, you're getting your side-out wish so far.
Eaton comes over, is talking to Coach Lee about something that's happening out there. Maybe they can have some kind of strategy for something that's going on.
Zamet serve into the back line. Up to Flustic, high. My goodness. Skying for that one, Vanessa Pollock. The elevation on that.
And a great set that came all the way across the net. One-on-one. The hitters are going to win that one-on-one at least 90% of the time.
Well, and winning decisively on that one. Workman serve. Blocked at the net that time. Great defense.
Talusic and Barry up to block. You know, again, we're starting to find who's going to be those main players once the conference season starts.
Cal and Barry, and getting some emotional support from the sideline by Shannon Ramito. The ankle injury clearly not affecting her lungs. Point again over to Southern Virginia. That shot long.
Again, Roanoke's asking for a touch on that. Neither one of the line judges saw it or the up or down ref. Coach Trail's over there talking to him, telling him we've got to get those touches called.
Natalie Workman. And that one just long. And once again, great net play by Southern Virginia.
Back row attack by the Maroon. The setter goes up. Can't contact the ball above the height of the net. When she did, and when the Southern Virginia blockers touched the ball, point for the Knights.
Natalie Workman still at the service line. Hard shot that time. Dug out well in the back line. Flustic. Oh, beautiful touch shot. Possession preserved, though. Back over to Bennett. Flustic. Another touch shot. That time by Barry. Service back over. Workman. Hard shot down. My goodness, Vanessa Pollock. She is out for blood tonight.
Except for that first attack by the Maroon when it looks like that Phillips was able to get the ball up. The Knights were in total control.
And huge miscommunication that time. The dig up to the net. Nobody home.
The setter forgot that she needs to go to her home.
And that calls the timeout. 11-3. Big 8-point lead for the Knights. But lest we forget, in that second set, the Knights down 9, able to come back and pull off the win. Certainly the opposite is true, especially from two teams that have shown they are so close tonight. Every single set going so close, and except for that first run in the second set and this run now by the Knights, it's been a close match all the way through.
You know, and we talked about emotions and how winning an emotional game, coming out flat in the next game seems to be prevalent. We're seeing that with the Maroons right now, which is something that the Knights are trying to take advantage of. They felt that before. They know what's happening. If you can get someone down and keep them down, that's what the Knights are trying to do right now.
Well, and the other thing, we commented earlier that what really kept the Knights in that game when they were down 9-0 were mental mistakes and gifted points by the Maroon. The Knights can't fall into that same trap. If side-out volleyball was great when they were up 2, it's got to be really great when they're up 8. They just have to not put themselves back in a bad situation.
Exactly.
Oh, just a hair short. Natalie Workman, just as we talk about, not giving points away.
Coming out of a timeout, same thing.
Yep. Service from Alexander Martin. Saved well that time by Tlustik, and it stays down. Workman a little bit tough handling that first hit, but able to get it over.
And Barry's able to find the seam in the defense. No one even went for the ball.
Looked like they might have thought it was going to go long, as they thought that time. That time it does, though. Turns out Pollock's got a little too much power for her own good sometimes.
Yeah, she's, again, such an explosive player. Sometimes I think it's hard for her to harness all that energy.
No doubt. Bostwick over to the Knights. Hard shot down the line. Well played, hard shot by Phillips. Well, I realize it's not over yet, but assuming it were over right now, Coach, who's your MVP for the Knights? There's been a lot of big contributors.
There's been a lot, but I think I have to go with probably Caitlin Toulouse. Being able to spread the ball around. They started out with a 6-2. She made the connections with the setters there. They stayed with that 6-2 for the first 2.5 sets. These last set and a half, she's been the one controlling the offense. And really when Pollock or Eaton or Barry or Phillips gets a big kill, it's because she set them up really nicely.
Yep, good attempt that time by Pollock, but unable to get underneath that, again, kind of a tricky shot that time by Jessica Block. I think you're absolutely right, though. Tlustik has been the facilitator for all those big hitters and making plays for the Knights. Certainly none of them would have had as good a night without the quality sets coming from Caitlin. Service now, Macy Tyree. Over to Bennett. Tlustik. Oh! And, you know, just as we talk about her as a facilitator, turns out she's had a couple of those tonight where she's able to do it on her own as well.
Again, a really tight pass to the net. I think Roanoke Maroon forgot that she was in the front row, thought that she may have to set it, went up and was able to back tap it for the kill.
And service just long that time. It gets concerning because, again, that was what we saw from the Maroon, able to keep the Knights in it before. The Knights giving a little bit back at this point as well, later in the set, though.
But we're seeing that they're playing a lot of side-out volleyball, which is something that you want to see. And there's that woman, Caitlin Eaton again. One-on-one blocking. There's not a lot that you can do to slow a great hitter down. Hannah Phillips back to serve now. and gets the ace. And again, she and Pollock just have so much energy out on the floor. It's kind of contagious to everybody else. Keeps the Knights in a forward and positive position. Nice serve by Phillips. Oh, a big block by Pollock and Eaton. And Pollock's able to take the ball down the line. Again, starting to bring the sets down a little bit lower, get the tempo going a little bit faster. This is the way we want to see the Knights play more often, at a little bit faster tempo. And the ball's hit out of bounds by number 18, Allison White. Knights are running away with this one. Phillips back to serve. And again, another timeout by Coach Blair Trail. That's their second one, and she had to call that in order to slow this bleeding down. The Maroon hadn't even broken double digits yet. So now, this is the way we want to see the Knights play more often, in a little bit more of a fast-paced setting style, keeping the ball down low, not so much high, creating a lot of havoc with the blockers. With Pollock and Phillips being able to go so fast and so hard at the net, that creates a lot of confusion with the blockers, and then that gives Eaton a lot more one-on-one chances. We've just seen a lot of smart play by the Knights in this fourth set. Again, 19-7, the Knights have a huge lead. They should be playing really loose right now. They have total control of this set and really total control of the match. Phillips back to serve. Let's see if she can keep it in. Oh, nice serve by Phillips that time.
Free ball over the Knights, the opportunity. Bennett, Flustick, and once again, just a dagger.
And this has been a very dominating performance by the Knights in this set.
It has.
Roanoke hasn't even gotten out of single digits yet.
Yeah, and the Knights already 5 points from closing it out. Ooh! And a set play just a little bit high. As you mentioned, very close first set, very close second eventually, very close third, but the Knights closing in decisive fashion so far. 4 points to go, keeping it in, and the ace.
And it feels like the Maroons are just kind of packing it in right now. I think they're going to reverse this one.
Well, they would certainly need to have a really, really impressive run. They are going to reverse it, but still would need to have a very impressive run to turn this around. 15 down. Well, make that 14. I think it'll be 13 here after they award that point. So, but still, well, it makes it a little more viable, but it would still have to be quite the run. Flustick. Caitlin Eaton, but taken by Roanoke. Kept alive. Free ball, though. Over to Flustick again. Ooh. And they're playing it. Blocked again. Saved over in two after Bennett's save. Outside shot blocked by Southern Virginia, and it will finally come down.
Wow. Kind of some ugly plays there, but, ends in a block for the Knights. You never want to say something's impossible, but we can say that it's improbable that the Maroon will come back and win this game tonight.
Well, and Caitlin Eaton doing her best to put every nail in that coffin, and wow, beautiful touch that time, showing a little bit of poise in that game as well.
Yeah, Pollock got a little bit too far over the net that time, didn't allow the offense to play the game. That's a roofing call on Pollock. She got a little bit too excited.
And thereby again, keeping the door just a tiny bit open. But let's be honest, Flustick, Pollock with authority. 14 now, 14-point lead by the Knights. 2 to close. Looking to wrap it up. Natalie Workman
It would be great if Workman could wrap it up for the night. She started out the first set well. She served well all night long. Let's see if she can get her last 2 service points.
Oh, not on that one. Smart play. Brooke Bostwick seeing the defenders and tipping it over the top.
And there the Maroons finally break into double digits.
There you go. But is it too little too late is the question at this point. Service over. Oh, misplayed that time by Workman.
And again, like you said, the door is open just a little bit. The Knights need to make sure that no more light shines through.
Absolutely not. 23-11. Service from Alexandra Martin.
And it looks like the Maroons are starting to pick on Natalie Workman now. Again, it's a good thing that we have. You know, the Knights are starting to give it back, not playing with that sense of urgency that we've seen all night long.
Yeah, 15-point lead, now down to a 10-point lead. And as that momentum shifts, we've talked a lot about momentum and a lot about emotion. Needing to close now. Blue stick. Pollock. Taken by Roanoke. Good shot from the outside. Roofed well. And the Knights coming up with a point to stop the hemorrhaging.
And
1
here it
point.
is. Set point and match point. Again, the last few points hasn't been very pretty, but when you have that great a lead, it don't have to be.
Hard shot that time. Defended well at the net. Phillips. Good opportunity for Roanoke. Tipped at the net again. Again blocked at the net, and Southern Virginia unrelenting in that net defense. Has to go over and shoot this time. Good opportunity. Tlustik with the set over. This one gets through and may have fallen out of bounds if not for the defender. But as you said earlier, you got to take the opportunity. If you're not sure, if anyone's going to go to the floor for that one, I imagine it's going to be Vanessa Pollock.
I would imagine so.
The Knights now with 9 chances to close this out. Here's the first one. Oh, and blocked up by the net. They're going to say blocked by the defender as well, though. The SVU chant from the crowd. Coming in from Bennett. Long shot from Phillips. Another shot at the net. And this one falls the way of the Maroon. 8 chances, but you don't want to take all of them.
No, you want to end it right now.
Absolutely.
And again, it's just a great battle by the Maroon right now.
Bostwick. Great set by Tlustik. And that should do it. Hannah Phillips with a decisive victory tonight by Southern Virginia. As we mentioned, a very tumultuous match, back and forth, very, very close on both sides, and ending the Knights finally able to close. In this situation, looking at it, I would say they closed very, very strong after some very close sets, winning the last one decisively by 10. We now have another special treat for you tonight. We have Diane Wilcox, the First Lady of Southern Virginia University, here with us tonight. I'll ask you the same thing I asked your husband. Your impressions. I assume this is the first Southern Virginia volleyball match you've seen. Your thoughts on it?
Yes, it is the first one we've been able to attend. I'm just amazed by this team. I know that it's quite a young team, and they played so well. I was particularly impressed during the second game. They were down 9 points. It was 9-0, and they came all the way back, tied the game, and then went on to win it.
Yeah,
I thought that was amazing.
Showed a lot of heart. It would have been so easy to just kind of take that and fold, but not willing to do so, willing to hang in and fight and win that one.
Right.
Very, very true.
Yeah, it was great.
And then I was just talking about in the fourth set as well, all 3 close, but that last one winning pretty decisively.
Yes, it was great at the end. They just came back after that loss at the end of the third game when it was so close, so hard fought. and they came all the way back and just you're right, decisively, they just won that game, and they didn't give up. They just held together. I think the team spirit seems amazing, and a lot of the fans support. It's just a great night for this school.
Yeah, a lot of emotion out there, as you mentioned, a lot of support for each other. That's fun to watch.
It's really great.
I also hear you're a bit of a sports fan yourself.
Oh, I love all sports. I think they're so great, and we had 4 kids, and they all played a lot of sports, and I think the opportunities are so great now, especially for young women. We had 2 daughters, and they were able to participate in all kinds of sports that in my generation we weren't able to participate in because the playing field wasn't even then between men and women. It's still not quite even, mind you, but there's been so much progress made and so much opportunity for women now to compete and to have the experience of being on teams and working under great coaches. It's a tremendous opportunity, and I love all the team opportunities here at SVU for the women as much as the men.
Yeah, lots of great women administrators in athletics as well. Deidre Dryden.
Oh, yes, I just met her tonight. She's outstanding.
Yeah, done a lot of work as a senior women's administrator. She was the interim athletics director for a while, too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, lots of coaches here, just lots of great programs. We know you have a very tight schedule. We'll let you go, but great to get to know you a little bit. Hope to see you at games further this season.
I'll be at all of them. Thanks so much for giving me the chance.
Outstanding.
Right, bye-bye.
We're going to go away for just a minute, and then we'll be back with Coach Mike Harmon as he interviews head coach Brittany Lee of the volleyball team here in just a minute.
All right, we're here with Coach Lee. Coach, I want to talk a little bit about the game tonight. Great matches. Came back from a huge deficit, and then had a little bit of a falter in the 3rd set, but in the 4th set was just totally dominant. Tell us a little bit about Caitlin Eaton, Vanessa Pollock, and Hannah Phillips. What do they mean to the team?
They're huge. There are solid players that can consistently, if they mess up, they can bounce back. And so that's huge, and they swing hard every time. They're smart. They try to place the ball in certain spots, but they can get out and swing hard every time. Yeah,
and we really enjoy watching them, especially Pollock and Phillips, a lot of energy every time they swing, whether it's in or out, a lot of energy. We noticed that you started the game in a 6-2. Halfway through I think it was the 3rd set, went to a 5-1. What was your thinking there?
Allie and I were both trying to keep track of how the setters were doing because we've had a battle between the setters these past couple weeks, and so we were just trying to keep track, and we saw Valerie start to struggle, and so we switched up and put Delaney in there, and she was doing well, but we haven't worked much with her, and so we had to switch to Caitlin, and we knew that Caitlin would know how to go all the way around and be a solid setter for us. So it was good to be able to have all those different options instead of just one for sure setter.
All right. And last little question. Your first conference game comes up in a week. What do we get to look forward to with that happening?
With this past week, we've really worked on getting the ball back first time. And so that's something that hopefully you'll be able to see us be able to get the ball back within 1 or 2 points, not letting the other team go on a run, and then having energy the whole entire match instead of up and down, having those times where we get all quiet and the other team goes on a run. Hopefully we can be loud and be able to skip over the other team getting multiple points.
Well, we appreciate you stopping by. Good luck, Coach Lee, and tell your team, we had a wonderful time watching them play tonight.
Thank you.
This is Mike Harmon for Art Furler. Until next time, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in the arena in about a week.